Alrighty, we gave you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of what is expected for us this weekend here in Dallas. The big sneaker con is making its way in. We had earlier this week Nesquik on the KRLD Afternoon News because of their customs labs that's going to be infiltrated within sneaker con. But the actual event itself, Will Debord joins us. Will, you guys are just now leaving from Atlanta, and now you're coming here to Texas. Tell me what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, well, definitely the barbecue, that's for sure. We always love coming down to Dallas. Texas always treats us well. We've been doing our Dallas event since I believe 2016, and since then it's just grown and grown and grown. And today, I think Texas is definitely one of the top reseller markets in terms of product.
What is it about sneakers that have become just iconic since the Michael Jordan days?
Oh man, I mean, it starts back then, right? You had this functional product that was tied to what now is the most popular game or sport in the world, and as someone like Michael Jordan leading it into the fashion world. So first you had the basketball players buying the shoes to wear them on the court. Then you had the fashionistas buying them to rock them out, and they never played basketball in their lives. Then you had the memorabilia collectors who just followed Michael Jordan's career and collected anything that had his name on, and likeness to it. And then once you had those three different groups demanding for the same product, you had the big resellers come in and say, hey, there's an opportunity here for us to get this product and price it up and make a business out of this. And since then, those different pulling forces of demand have made this product one of the most sought after products of any industry.
It's fascinating, the growth and how big the industry is as a whole, and the culture behind it. Talk a little bit about that. What does Dallas bring to sneaker culture? What are you looking forward to through the Texans that are going to be coming out to this expo?
Yeah, well, like I said, right now, currently, Texas as a state has some of the biggest resellers with some of the biggest inventories and collections in the country. So it's always good when, they travel to shows with us, but it's always good when they're home because they really bring it all. So we're excited to just see all those shoes under the same roof. And then we have a ton of people coming from California, even from Florida, driving out with their collections. So Texas is just always a fun place. It's somewhere in the middle, and it brings out all the best of the sneaker community.
Nike's kind of started, as we talked about, with the whole Michael Jordan thing, and the other companies had to catch up as well. And Adidas had something going with Kanye West for a
Yep.
while. Is Kanye still an influencer in the sneaker world?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Anything he does, just goes viral, right? And then whether people like it or not, eventually the brands start to produce products like what he's wearing and putting out, and then it just becomes the next trend. So he's still very, very influential. And, recently Adidas agreed with him to release the rest of the inventory. Whatever they had already produced is still releasing, and all of them are selling out. So they still have a ton of energy behind that brand. And who knows what's going to happen once all those shoes are sold. They might just rekindle their relationship, or Kanye might just release his own brand. But, he's always ahead of the game. He's been a sneakerhead since before he was, a hip hop artist or producer. So he's always going to be in this culture and always influential.
And we talk about, okay, specific influence you have, of course, it's sports world, but specifically basketball. All these different basketball players, and they have all their different shoes. What is it about basketball in particular? And do you see any other sport that is going to try to, change that influence or kind of steer a spotlight a little bit towards them competitively with the products coming out?
Yeah, I like to think that, from a marketing sense, basketball players have it good. They don't wear helmets or hats, right? So sometimes you see a baseball player walking around the streets, you won't even know who they are, and especially football where they're wearing helmets on screen most of the time. So they're just recognizable. And it's also a fast-paced sport. People love when dunks happen and these exciting things happen. So the shoes also being tied to that culture really catapulted it above other sports from a marketing and promotional sense. And yeah, it's just a cool sport, and also like in the inner cities, I grew up in New York, in Brooklyn and Queens, and I didn't have all the equipment to go play football or baseball or hockey, but I could just pick up my basketball and go to the park down the street and I could play ball. So it's also the most relatable and easiest sport to access for people.
And the other thing about it, of course, is you were talking about the equipment itself. Not a lot of people are walking around the streets in baseball spikes or football cleats. These are shoes that you'll see on the court. You'll see your favorites playing in them, and then you can walk around the streets yourself doing the same thing.
Exactly. It's almost too easy for them.
Now, we talk about a big area for millennials, Gen Zers, but as this continues to evolve, do you think, where do you see the future of the sneaker roll moving to?
Oh man, there's so much, right? You could focus on tech now with like blockchain technology, AR, VR. You have Nike purchasing a company like Artifact, who started as an NFT company and now is producing high-end products for Nike. They're moving into the future of tech. Then you have sub brands. You have designers that are dropping their own shoe brands and they're doing fairly well. So you just have new brands sprouting. It's easier than ever to produce shoes from the factory level and supply chain level. So you have a lot of pop-up brands that are creating their own shoe models and able to go viral through social media. They don't need huge marketing arms like TV commercials like back in the day. They could just get a couple influencers and do something cool on social media and pop off a new brand. So, it's a new era. It's really a creator culture going into the future. And I'm just excited to see all these new brands pop up and sprout and see the new designs, also the innovative designs.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's inform our listeners on how they can get tickets. And then if they have their own collection, what is the process like to bring those to SneakerCon?
Yeah, so tickets are available on the website, sneakercon.com. Just like that. I believe they're $30. And with a regular general admission ticket, you can bring in as many shoes as you can hand carry. Can't bring in carts and dollies. That's for the vendors who have tables and a lot of inventory. But if you're a patron, you can bring a bag that's big enough to carry 20 shoes and, bring it. And just with your ticket, you can bring it and be trading all day. We have tons of giveaways happening on our stage and through the different brands that are there. Nesquik, like you mentioned, is running the customs lab. And we are kicking off a scavenger hunt across the city of Dallas tomorrow. So follow SneakerCon on Instagram, our Instagram stories. We will be posting the locations for the scavenger hunt. So we'll have people running around Dallas tomorrow in preparation for the event.
That is super cool. Okay, one last question. How many shoes do you have?
I want to say I'm just under 200.
I've been
I've been trying to really sell
You're
some
cutting down,
and buy
aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to cut down because the space, I can't
Minimalize.
keep up. Yeah. So I've been trying to like trade a lot of shoes for a few shoes that are more high tier. So I'm always trading, always trying to level up my collection.
Very cool. Love to hear it. Awesome. That is Will Debord with SneakerCon coming out to Dallas this weekend. And the scavenger hunt kicks off tomorrow, as you just heard. So make sure you guys follow them on social media and visit their website for your tickets. Thanks so much for the time.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having us.